The Devadasi system is a centuries-old cultural and religious tradition in India, especially in the southern Indian states of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Maharashtra. In this system, young girls were married to temples and placed in the service of the gods. Although it was initially considered a religious honor, over time it led to caste-based oppression and exploitation. This article explains the history of the system, its evolution, and its impact on society. The origins of the Devadasi system stretch from the 6th to the 9th century, and the tradition became widespread during the Chola, Chera, and Pandya dynasties in South India. Devadasis, or servants of God, served the gods in temples through dance, music, and rituals. They were experts in classical dance forms such as Bharatanatyam and played a key role in temple rituals. Initially, Devadasis held a respected position in society. They were financially supported by the royal courts and received financial assistance such as lands and properties. Their artistic skills gave them a special identity. During the Middle Ages, the Devadasi system gradually underwent changes. Caste-based oppression, the system increasingly focused on Dalit and other lower caste women. This led to social and economic exploitation of these women. Sexual exploitation, Devadasis, who served in temples, were sexually abused by kings, temple officials, and wealthy individuals. The tradition evolved from a religious service to an exploitative system of prostitution. Social ostracism, Devadasis were deprived of the opportunity to marry and their children were stigmatized in society. These women and their families were plunged into poverty. During the British Raj in the 19th century, criticism of the Devadasi system increased. Reform movements, British missionaries and Indian social reformers considered the system morally wrong. They equated the system with prostitution. Legal measures, the British government introduced some laws to control the Devadasi tradition, but these measures were not effectively implemented. This led to further social ostracism of Devadasis, but the system was not completely eradicated. Cultural changes. During this period, Devadasi dance forms such as Bharatanatyam underwent Sanskritization. Devadasi lost their traditional status as Brahmin and upper caste women adopted these forms. The Devadasi system has had a profound impact on society, especially on Dalit and marginalized communities. Social stigma, Devadasi and their children faced social ostracism. Their children were often deprived of education and employment opportunities. Financial poverty, Devadasis are often mired in poverty due to their lack of a stable source of income. Bureaucratic hurdles, Devadasi children face obstacles in proving their identity, especially in official documents that require the father's name. For example, Nari Kamakshi faced humiliation and rejection when she applied for a passport because her father's name was missing. My mother, like thousands of other women, was dedicated to a temple as a child. Yet, she raised me with dignity, strength, and the courage to face challenges. She worked as a daily wage laborer and sent me to school. I grew up watching her silently defy the system. But, because my mother was a Devadasi, I was denied a passport. This story is not just my personal struggle, but reflects the failure of a system that oppresses Dalit women and their children. My struggle in April 2023, I applied for a passport in Delhi. I had Aadhaar, voter ID, educational certificates, and a government-issued certificate stating that my mother was a Devadasi. I support youth programs in Delhi and conduct research in public education. But, my experience at the passport office turned out to be a nightmare. The passport officer looked at my file and noticed that the father's name column was blank. Everyone has a father, don't talk like an uneducated person, he said with a laugh. Those around him laughed. I explained that my mother raised me alone. I mentioned the Maharashtra High Court judgment, which says that only the mother's name is valid on documents. But nothing worked. My application was rejected. Police verification challenges. The verification officer was initially sympathetic, but then he raised the issue of not having the father's name as a problem. I appealed, sent emails, went to offices. No one responded. Waiting for hours, pleading and explaining only left me with humiliation. I was not a person to the system, but a problem. Reapplication, rejection again in March 2025, I applied again in the Tatkal category in Bengaluru. My PhD scholarship deadline was approaching. But, I was rejected at the token counter itself. I want to know the father's name, don't talk like an uneducated person, the officer said. Laughter all around. I collapsed with humiliation, hopelessness. I asked to meet the assistant passport officer. I showed the government certificate and the Maharashtra High Court verdict as proof that my mother was a Devadasi. But, they suggested switching me to the regular process and vague rules. My identity was not considered, it was just a bureaucratic issue. Last resort finally, I switched from Tatkal to regular process and applied from Bangalore at the Bellary Passport Seva Kendra. On May 1, 2025, I submitted a letter explaining my mother's Devadasi status and completed the document verification. My education, PhD admission, and all official documents were worthless before the system. Success, however, my persistence paid off. On May 26, 2025, I was issued a passport. It was not just a document, it was my identity, my right, the victory of my struggle. Social struggle. This struggle is not just mine. Thousands of Devadasi children are facing similar obstacles. They are losing their passports, their education, their dignity. The Karnataka Devadasi Prohibition Act 1982 and the Rehabilitation Bill 2018, on which I worked as a research assistant, promised change, but they have yet to be implemented. My commitment. I continue my fight. I have founded a youth program, guiding students from marginalized communities in leadership and career paths. My experience fuels my activism. Education has given me the language to dream, the courage to question injustice. But education alone is not enough. Discrimination continues through bureaucratic hurdles, silent rooms, and closed doors. Call for change. The government must take action. Children of single parents, especially children of Devadasi families, should not have to repeatedly justify their identity. Policies should make it clear that the father's name is not mandatory. Officials should be trained on the Devadasi system. Devadasi children should get a fair chance, not humiliation, even in Tatkal cases. Message to all those struggling: your struggle is valid. You are not wrong. You do not need to explain your birth to anyone. The fight for dignity, justice, and recognition continues, not just for us, but for every child the world has yet to see.